lion was told to lie the fuck down.
Yeah, I mean, my summonable creature looks kind of poo-poo next to our cleric here, who can just be like, whoosh, ah yes, a divine arbiter of justice. What's that? You made the save. That's still a flat amount of radiant damage that you can't avoid.
Damn right.
That thing is scary.
Also, it doesn't help that when the lion was preparing its action, it got fucking eye-beamed to death.
That did happen.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah, I just told the dead, yeah.
Told the dead.
Which at this level is crazy.
Especially on creatures that are not wise. Guaranteed.
And if you roll 2 12s.
That too. So. Last time in Ashes of Otren, you had been, traveling in your airship not very long, finally able to retreat from Hanso, heading towards one of the various locations of the rune weapons and stones, heading towards the monastery, hoping to find said location and retrieve the weapon if it would still be there. Upon which, when passing by, heading through the sky and getting accommodated to your new home/transportation, an adult silver dragon had passed by. Curious as to what you were doing this far up, but also what you were traveling in. It came to your attention that where it had originally come from was what seemed to be a broken down sky castle that's still aloft. Many of the pieces fallen away, still floating through the sky. But curiously enough, at the bottom of it, this cloud giant castle seemed to have still the illusory effect of being able to emulate clouds below, as explaining why no one had been able to really even spot this giant structure before. The only reason why you were able to yourself is that it was hanging low enough, and also the immediate attention brought to you by the dragon. After it returned back, leaving your ship alone, you immediately decided upon exploring this main structure. After landing the ship into the main foyer of the broken down castle, you had started setting on foot, not really wanting to bring the ship further in, especially due to the fact that there are various dangers. It itself is durable, but not indestructible. After getting through the main entrance of the castle, seeing some of the side rooms and the various layouts that are before you, along with the immense holes and craters that go through the floor straight through to the lands below, not much separating you that far down there. You came across the grand entrance hall, where it seems that there was previous giants laid out before you. The skeletons that were their only remains. At this point, you see that most of them started to rise as soon as you enter in. The menacing energies that be and the wrathful spirits that had remained behind quickly gave rise to their corpses once again. And that was the point where everyone had started to, quickly crusade through this main hall, slaying the undead and returning them back to rest. Ramus using his sword to consume what is remainder of the souls here, and let the bones finally diminish to dust, leaving this hall finally at peace. As you do, take a moment to take in everything that's going on, and kind of just explore the whole entirety of this main hall. You see that there are a few treasures here and there left in remainder. Not everything seems to be fully intact, as one or two bones seem to be missing, maybe prized or trophies. You even see one or two finger bones that are missing from them. Though, obviously, still decorated warriors seemingly refusing to pass on and seem to have held on through some sheer amount of anger, maybe not their own, or maybe the utter failure that had originally happened when this keep was obviously destroyed. Knowing that the turret of one of them was in the remainder of the ocean leaves the curiosity of what happened here to cause giants to be so violently angry that they had refused to move on into the afterlife. Now we return back to where you are still exploring and see a humongous stretch before you going further out across to the other section of the castle.
This way?
Mm-hmm. You can tell that this section that you're currently in seems to be more like the servants' areas, where many a warrior or other lesser beings were permitted or kept, either through slavery or such. You do take note that there are obviously shackles on the hip buckle of some of these skeletons. You do know full well that giants are not bashful, and especially after meeting King Snare, very adamant to having enslaved lesser races, as they call them.
Can I, like, ruffle around the skeletons?
That you can.
Is there anything there?
So with that, easily enough, you do find a giant-sized ring that still remains. With
A ring?
yes, a ring that could easily be a belt comparatively to you. There is enough silver and gold mixed in to make this beautiful electrum ring that is inlaid with heavy sense amount of obsidian. It seems to be worth about 500 gold.
Can I sense any magic off of it? Is there any tinglies?
Unfortunately not. It's just a very
No tinglies.
nice ring.
Can I take it?
Of course.
Rain
All right.
picks up a giant golden hula hoop.
Pretty much.
When I'm drunk, I'm gonna, like, dance with it. Or sell it. Whatever.
Can I take
Can
a
I
look
add
at
it to the horde? Actually, our
Yeah, I mean it's
horde.
there for you guys to add.
I would love
Okay.
before it's fully dispelled, Modar wants to look at the creature that Rain summoned, the Guardian of Faith. Just like it's not a magic he sees often. Take a few quick notes, that sort of thing.
Go ahead and roll me a religion.
Arcana?
Religion.
But Arcana, okay.
My pizza might be here. I'll be right
That's
back.
an 11 plus 5, 16.
So especially seeing the divine magics, you could tell that, curiously enough, that this realm was also easily touched by the gods. You know full well that from where you've originally presided, that they're a little harder to contact sometimes, especially due to the dimensional barrier that you had originally presided in with the city of Sigil. But
interesting.
you can easily take note that this is one of the angel warriors of Tempest that has been sent to guard the specified location that Rain is called. Obviously, not moving from where it's been charged to stand guard.
I take down a few notes. Give a peer down this southern direction to see what's down.
You said those were like pens, basically. Do they lead anywhere, or is it just the corridors to the quarter?
So, thankfully, well, actually, let me do a quick roll for them. But Modar, you see in this initial room, obviously this main hall. Forgive me for not decorating everything, but just makes it a little easier.
It's an abandoned sky fortress.
Yes. You do see in this hall here that it looks like more of the gifting area that was previously there to pay homage to many of the great leaders that were probably here of this giant fortress, but you do see that there are still a few crates remaining, some giant-sized jugs that obviously probably for mead, wine, or other such creations that they have come to gift the leader of the castle originally. Many of them lie broken and shattered. One or two seem to still remain in contact, though as you kind of peer through here, you do hear the wind whistling, but a very distinct patter of feet coming from the stairs that go down below. You hear a lot of patters of feet.
Are they coming up?
Doesn't sound like it. Just seems like slow occasional slaps once in a while.
I believe that there's something in that direction. It doesn't seem to be the way we're going, however. I would suggest we continue on across the way towards our main goal.
Do they sound busy, or?
Can I roll to get a little to identify a little bit better?
Ooh,
Insight,
can I
maybe.
listen?
Yeah, go ahead and roll my perception, and obviously Ramus for you at advantage because you have your good old tiger here.
That's a 6.
Perception.
Yes, sir. For you, Modar, it's a little tough. Obviously, the wind passing by here and whistling occasionally with the large open halls, the doors that.
I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure it's nothing that we need to worry about.
Ramus, you discern this to be more of shuffling and hear the occasional drag of wood. You assume, especially for the fact that the skeletons have gotten up, there's very likely many zombies in that hall.
Does it just sound like they're pacing back and forth?
Yep, pacing back and forth, dragging items. You can hear the occasional drag distinctly of what seems like old clay jug marks or wooden tools or equipment, or even what seems like cloth sacks, curiously enough.
Sounds like trouble. Zombies. Maybe we shouldn't go down that way unless we really want to fight. Onward? Yeah. That sounds good.
And Rain, since you were standing over here earlier, you get to see across the way fully that there seems to be some kind of guardhouse at the in-between section. As you do look across, you see the occasional flutters of wings, as there are very large nests, along with a few bird-like creatures that seem to have kind of like the lower half of a horse, but the front half is more like clawed griffins or that of an eagle talon style. A little harder to discern, but they seem to just be nesting currently, not doing much.
Okay.
How large are they?
For each of these creatures that you see, they look to be like maybe the size of a small horse. Not particularly meaty,
Wow.
but still big enough to be able to snatch someone away. though they don't seem to pay any heed to you, as they are obviously preening themselves or tending to nests.
I'm gonna move forward.
Alright.
Are they like?
Well, let's see all our options before we.
Are they looking like they're like super active, or did you say they're like sleeping? You said they were nesting. Does that mean like sleeping?
Like,
Yeah, they're mostly just cleaning themselves of molting feathers and such. Here, Ramus, you can see that there probably was a guardhouse here at one point, or an external turret. You assume that this is maybe where the other turret originally was, and it's just gone, broken clean off.
what's to the left? Can I see anything?
To the main left there, you can see what looks like an old armory with massive weapons that have been rusted over time. Some that are more crudely made, others that look like they had belonged to maybe Goliaths or something more to your size. You can assume that maybe they had a great deal of slaves that had been originally here, and if this was also connected next to the turret that you had originally been near, it would make sense that many of the slaves were probably going in and out, serving with the Forge Master, placing many of the great weapons here, making sure that obviously equipment was ready at demand of whatever great being or other general had originally presided over this castle.
So is it all like rusted trash now?
It seems to be that. You could definitely roll me an investigation if you like.
I would like to roll an investigation.
Go for it, because I would imagine you guys are kind of like, scoping everything out before going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've gone through all of the different zombie corpses, or skeleton corpses, excuse me.
For the various skeleton corpses, there was the one that Rain had looked at. I'll get that in just a moment for you, Mona. So, the various treasures.
Treasure.
There we are. So, searching through, you do find two particular items that stand out to you. One is very clearly a javelin, though it's much more fanciful make. You're not sure if it's because of the Cloud Giant design, castle, and such, but very unique metal handle in the middle. Some parts of it seem to be streaked with yellow, and at the very tip, both ends sharp as ever and made to look like lightning bolts at both ends, as they are with the coloration of yellow as well. This one seems to have not rotted at all, but it also is curious to have a javelin entirely made of metal in itself, as well as one other item that is curious enough, a mace that seems to have what seems like the emblazoned face of horror of a halfling on it.
That sounds really cool. Is it one hand or?
It is one-handed.
I would like to identify the spear with the lightning bolts on it, please, as a ritual.
Alright. So, with that, you do see that there's obviously some lightning motifs on this. You have a good inkling what this is, and you confirm it very quickly with Identify. This particular is a javelin of lightning.
Ooh.
You know full well that upon command, when you go to throw this item, you can pick a target, usually out to 100 feet. Not only would it immediately turn into like a Zeus's lightning bolt, but it would also do the full streak and strike every creature in the line, and still not only hit the creature at the end with the lightning bolt, but also hit them with the javelin strike as well.
Holy crap! That's pretty cool.
Has anyone laid claim to that? No, that sounds just like a.
With holding it, but I'm not proficient with javelins. I'm a wizard. So if anybody could use this better. Actually, I guess it's not an attack. Oh no, you do make a ranged attack against the final person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, somebody take this.
Perhaps I can examine it, Modar. Spears are in my...
Better you than me. Here, and I'll explain exactly how to activate it, the command phrase that I learned from it.
And then for the mace, you discern, especially for the very curious and unique design, you feel like the person who had initially wanted or desired the craft or design of the mace really hated halflings and had purposely made the face on it screaming with terror. The eyes do seem to shimmer with a eerie, incandescent yellow light as you do steady over it. And it comes to your attention that after identifying it, this is a mace of terror.
Oh wow!
Whenever you're holding this, you can use one of the 3 charges to release a screaming wave of terror from the mouth of the mace. Each creature of your choice within a 30-foot radius extending from you must succeed a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you for 1 minute. While frightened in this way, the creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from you as it can, willingly, to a space within 30 feet. It also can't take reactions for its action. All it can do is dash or try to escape and basically flee from you as fast as possible until it can make the save.
That's cool. Is that going in the bag for now?
It goes to whoever wants it. Does Nero want it? What kind of weapon does Nero have?
She's using like a great axe or something, isn't she?
She's using this Super G Great Silver Sword that you gave her still.
Yeah.
She kind of looks at it like...
What about the Shadow? Does the Shadow want it?
What?
The Shadow, like, even though you know he can't keep it, Ramus, but he's got, like, the claws, like, give me the weapon. There's no fucking way he can use it, but...
No, I don't think they can hold it. They can't, like, hold things.
Here.
They can, but they can't hold, like, weapons.
Damn it.
I believe Rain is proficient with blunt weapons.
Yeah, she's hugging her hammer.
I hear you. I'm not hugging it. I just like it.
No, I said hugging it.
Mm-hmm.
You won't. It's going in the bag.
Bell it. Fence it. Onwards.
Ramus doesn't take it. It's not his, but I guess he grabs it just in case.
And before I forget, you do find, curiously enough, obviously, the symbol that pertains to what you believe the Cloud Giant believes their god is this beautiful electrum cloth talisman. It seems to be been made and interwoven from various silver threads around what seems like a wood amulet, but has the symbol emblazoned on the front of it. It seems to have lasted through all the weathering, as well as what seems to be a humongous iron comb, if you desire so to take it, Still nicely made. It's just obviously made for a giant. You do find some giant's hair in it, though.
You said giant's hair?
Yep.
Ramus rolls some of that shit up to put it in his bag.
Alrighty. You can mark down for... I assume you're collecting all the giant's hair from the comb?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so you get about 60 feet of giant's hair.
Is this like a fetish? Like, what are you gonna do with it?
I was gonna say, is it a kink thing? Yeah.
Well, so...
I'm not kink shaming at all.
Brandon
I'm
just...
a opportunist. I like to trade things or sell things or use things to make other things.
You could break some rope from it.
Exactly.
That too.
Goods and services.
Ramus, you would know, especially since you're from a group of Monster Hunter professionals, that yes, the statement of giant's hair rope would be extremely valuable. You know, it also is highly durable, whereas most other ropes would normally be cut. Unless you're purposely trying to cut, giant's hair rope usually cannot snap or be broken from various wear and tethering. They got them good
Idiot
follicles.
proof.
Yeah, they got them good follicles.
That's some good ass rope.
AKA, if you don't do more than 10 damage in a turn to giant's hair rope, it cannot be broken.
Alright, cool. Does the thing with the talisman on it, is it just like cloth talisman just for show for their god? Or
It's very much just for show for their god, but you can tell that it's still very nice cloth. It would be probably about 200 gold's worth of cloth bolts that you could collect from it.
well, then I guess that's also going in the pile. Rage chucks it in the bag.
I need to invest in a second bag of holding.
Need to get a portable hole.
I've got the second back. Oh,
Oh, if only somebody had a portable hole.
Man, what a shame.
That sucks that we don't have one as a party. That's real rough.
Excuse me, Blue Man Group.
Like, I've used it and like, I'm like, well, let me just open my office.
Just starts shoving like
Right,
giant's hair
right.
in there, boxes, corpses, beheaded dragons.
Reams of bloody cloth. Yeah. Oh, the piles of meat because it's like an extra dimensional space so it doesn't rot or like get bad there.
All his fucking paperwork is now just covered in blood.
This is the worst. This is my nightmare. So this is what Modar dreams of.
So,
Oh, we're at, hold up. You probably should not be self-aware of us with the snatchy angels.
With what?
The snatchy bird eagles.
Well, I think they're hippogriff. Well, I don't know that we know what they
roll
are.
in nature if you try to discern what they are.
I would love to. Man, love to roll good, please.
Definitely a griffin, 100%.
Griffins. Okay.
You don't know. You've never seen a griffin. You have griffins on your ship. These are griffins, obviously.
Shut the fuck up.
Ramus, you know, these are definitely not griffins. You think Modar's probably been in the office a little too long. These are hippogriffs. Lesser cousins to griffins.
Hmm.
You know that they're also dumb as hell.
Oh, when approaching a griffin, it's very important to respect its intelligence. Griffins are smart beings. They form enclaves, and
I'm giving Griffin facts that are not helpful at all in the current situation.
you might find that these griffins are even more intelligent than you know.
Please, if you know so much, let us go ahead. Show us how it's done.
Oh, no.
Well,
You can see-
obviously, first I will need to find something to offer them as a snack.
And I'm going just past Jin, almost in line with Thalos, and I will, for my second time in the day, reach into my bag of tricks. And I'll roll. And you watch him reach into this small patchwork bag, and he pulls out a small, like fuzzy round object. And even as you watch, oh, another lion. A lion appears on the ground, just like 10 feet in front of Modar, and he's like,
Now you,
speaking to the lion,
go over there and distract them, and if they want to eat you, that's fine.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be good.
Fucking lion cries.
Fine, lead them away.
He just starts going over there.
Ramus has a little like, he's got a very confused look on his face, and like, you sure?
I mean,
What's
you
it-
have.
really?
What would you prefer to do?
No, go ahead.
All right.
I turn and look at the lion that's like sitting and like, oh, I don't have to do this, and I'm like, no, go on.
Is my spirit guardian still like there?
Yes, unfortunately they do not move. They're
I see.
the guardian when you place them.
Got it. I
So,
feel like I'm abandoning them.
they'll return back. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Go.
So, I was just gonna say, the lion gets to about here, as you do hear the hippogriff's caw far more aggressively. And then there's a point where it starts to take off and take flight. As you can see, probably makes the lion flinch for a moment, just because it's so sudden. And let's do a quick perception test real quick.
Perception?
Yeah, no, they definitely hear that going on out there. So, another 3 come flying out of the hall and are now preparing to swoop your lion.
This isn't the usual intelligent behavior of a griffin. It's much more animalistic, almost as if I misidentified the creature, but that's impossible. One of you would have corrected me.
So, do you let the lion just start trying to lead them away? Question mark.
I mean, do I think it has any ability to do that?
Roll an insight. You used to mention. You
19, 25.
You feel like if the lion like fucks with the nest or something and then like runs another direction, it could piss them off enough to get them to follow. But at the same time, how fast they could escape a flying creature is very poor.
You want to fight some griffins? They're kind of all clustered up together. You know, fire could kick this off. How do we feel?
We're not going to attack griffins for no reason.
One, they're hippogriffs.
Oh, sorry.
Well, then everything I've done is silly, is foolish. Why would you allow me to make such a fool? Ah, I
You were
see.
so confident in yourself.
I see. Yes. Well,
The hippogriff starts diving at the lion now that the lion's not moving.
well, the plan does still work. Do you want to try and sneak by during the feeding frenzy?
Meanwhile, the fucking line's just over there, like, screaming.
It's a summoned being.
It's just funny to think about.
Yeah, it's not happy.
So. Alright, so, hilariously enough, the 2 claws attacks miss, and then all
What time of day is it, by the way?
Okay, the lion is gone. The hippogriffs have effectively, in like one round, swooped the fucking lion to death.
It's fine.
3 beak attacks successfully, just pecking it to death.
I use my staff to cast Pass Without Trace. See if we can get by them.
And now you have a few hippogriffs kind of like flying around and just kind of like screeching at what was going on for a moment as they just kind of scope out the area for a brief moment. Some of them take note of you, but they don't obviously pursue you, as you are a pretty good distance away still. You do see that there is the door here and the, curiously enough, outside guardhouse that still remains here on the bridge.
Anything special about it, or just a guardhouse sitting out there?
What the door looks medium creature sized. Is that accurate?
Oh, the door itself?
Yeah, this door here. How big is it?
That door in particular, just to show us it swings, large creature size.
Oh, okay.
But it is currently shut.
Got it. Yeah.
Maybe
Is there a top on it?
On this entire building here, yes, it is enclosed, but you do see that there are a few turret windows, obviously, to look out from. Not huge, but you can tell, like, murder hole slits.
How high up?
For the murder hole slits, they're only about 10 feet up.
I fly up and look through one of the murder slits.
Alright. As you look in, you can see that this is probably the last stay location that a whole bunch of kobolds hid before, unfortunately, freezing to death or so, maybe starving, as they are all zombies shuffling around in there.
Kobold corpses. I tell the rest of the group. But I believe they may be undead.
You do see one enormous looking fire giant crossbow made from bands of black iron. A very sickly looking bolt rests inside the holster of it, still drawn back, along with 3 larger black iron arrows that still sit beside it.
How large would their arrows be to us?
So fire giant arrows that size, that would be a 15-foot bolt.
Damn.
Well, I described it to the group and I asked them if they want to go in. There are at least 14 corpses in there.
What would we do with the bolts? They're gigantic.
Unless we wanted to try and find a ballista here and mount it on the ship.
I was gonna say, unless we try to mount that. How big would that be comparatively to our ship?
For the black iron bolter, that effectively, let's see, that would take a 2x2 space because it's still held by a 3x3 creature. So it would effectively, you could mount it on a swivel and be able to position it.
Do you think the hippogriffs are dumb enough to attack the kobolds if we let them out and let them thin each other out?
It does seem to be a way to eliminate 2 problems with a single action.
And we just clean up the rest?
have no objection.
Well, I
Step.
propose that the plan. I guess Rose asks if anybody else has any ideas or objections or.
Nier's kind of seems like a good plan.
Oh no. Alright, then. Back it up and let's see what happens.
See a few of the hippogriffs start going to land. Well, only one kind of keeps flying around, just for a brief moment.
Can these shadows open doors? Are they that? Or would I have to use the shadow demon?
Let's see. From their strength alone.
Yeah, 6.
6 and 1. Yeah, no, they can't even begin to open this massive, heavy marble wood door. Like, it's marble and wood mixed inlay with this massive door.
Where do we exactly need to go? Do we need to go forward?
I'm not entirely sure. You can tell that there's definitely the main keep there before you as you look at it.
Alright, can I just drunkenly stumble closer to it?
We're trying to open this door so these kobolds. Are you just going to open the door for us then? Then hopefully you can run back.
Okay.
Alright.
And take many steps back and suggest everybody else does as well.
Seems like anything my
what's
sister can do,
my-
I can do better.
What's my
They
what's my
both
speed?
drunkenly stumble. What,
Okay.
kid? What did you drink? Yes.
Speed. So
Right.
what
Back up to him. He kind of like waves her at him. Like, probably take some steps with it.
Oh no, I have no internet.
You have a 30-foot move. That's unfortunate. But you do have a 30-foot movement, obviously grabbing onto this door and having your brother assist you. You could full swing it without being really slowed down. And thankfully it does swing out towards you. So, that shuffles the door.
Perfect.
As obviously you do have, like, a brief in-betwixt shield between you and the kobolds. So,
With the door?
so you easily start falling back. Do see that one or two kobolds kind of start shuffling out, hearing the door creak. And especially with the one hippogriff that's still flying over. Immediately gets the attention of the two. They start shuffling away. More and more start to trickle out, following them. Which you will see what you assume to be approximately 16 plus kobolds, maybe. A little hard to tell as they all shamble out into the horde. Immediately start heading towards the various hippogriffs. Are stabbing with tools, slashing at them with old weaponry that they obviously still had. More screeching goes on as you hear more hippogriffs start pouring out and start grabbing kobolds and biting them and beaking at them, and as the kobolds gurgle and screech at them as well. It's a cacophony of noise that is very unpleasant to the ears, but you do see that a lot of the hippogriffs are now either grabbing festered kobolds, zombies, and either retreating with them to tear them apart, or some getting overwashed as you see that the kobolds get thinned down. About 4 of the hippogriffs are dead, and plenty of them are injured and now either full on fleeing or leaving. Others are just going back to their nests with what pieces they've killed. And these ones fly away for the current time. As all these zombie kobolds are now dead and gone, torn apart.
Oh, okay. There we go. Perfect.
Can I move forward?
Are you getting that crossbow out back to the ship first, or?
Too heavy to carry around?
Is that a priority? Is that a priority for us?
Moda, can you fit it in your hole?
Excuse me.
Hey.
Let me
Yes.
see. I don't think so.
It's a portable hole, right?
Yeah, the entrance to this is 6 feet in diameter, so no, it wouldn't fit inside. It's only 10 feet deep.
Damn, is there any way to send a message to the crew to come pick it up? How long would it take to just run back to the ship and back here to tell them it's here?
I can send someone to I can command an unseen servant to go
Like
and
deliver a message?
alert them, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll cast.
There's no stretch limit on your portable hole.
Right, but it's only 10 feet deep.
Yeah, no, the crossbow itself isn't straightly upright. You could still lay it down. It doesn't reach the.
Oh, so if it like I can fit it in there without destroying the rest of my crap.
Yeah, because a fire giant has to be able to hold it. Like, this is not the size of a fire giant.
Right. Okay.
You could tell that this would be like if Thalos had like a heavy crossbow, but just upsized for a fire giant.
Right. I'm imagining like a ship's ballista, similar sort of thing.
Yeah, because it still doesn't have like a swivel or anything. It's obviously
Right.
still carryable.
All right. I mean, yeah,
But it would
with
just take like 3 of us.
with Ramus, Jin, and Thalos's help, Modar would shove that thing in his hole.
And the arrows. And the bolts.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Full house.
So,
What is the exact name of this item?
the black iron giant's crossbow.
And how many bolts do I have?
So for the bolts themselves, you can tell that, especially since that these are magical, these haven't faded away in any way, shape, or form. There are 4 dragon slaying arrows there. So the 4 black iron bolts that you have currently for it, which obviously you could fashion just a run-of-the-mill crossbow bolt for it, would take some specialty work, but can still work in the same.
Huh, we could have used this not that long ago.
It's Dagon, yeah, that would be pretty good. Though, for the dragon slaying aspect, let me go find that one.
Alright, I guess onward to... Ramus sends 2 of his shadows to, like, shadow rain.
Yeah, watch her, she's strong. So that's what it's, the arrow sling. So in short, those black iron bows, when they do collide with a dragon, aside from the 2d12 that they would do as a ballistic bolt. If it hits a dragon in particular, the dragon needs to make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or take an extra 6d10 piercing damage.
Woo!
See?
I gingerly step over the bloodstains on the carpet.
All the kobold bones, bodies, and weapons that are now strewn about.
Mm-hmm.
As you do pass by, you do see into this magnificent hall. Very clearly overrun with various hippogriff nests. You can see that there are plenty of eggs within, and that this used to be...
Is
Ooh, a
there
delicacy.
any way getting around the hippogriff nest to this place over here?
For those, obviously there are no really real hippogriffs here currently. The ones that are here look happy with the kobolds that they've killed and taken back to their nests. Obviously, being more...
They're they're lion meat.
Yeah. That's true, yeah, because it was from the bag. So, yeah, they seem pretty satiated. They don't seem to be worrying about you coming in here. They seem to be more kind of like mother hen, refuse to leave the nest because their eggs are there right now.
Alright, fuck it. Then we stroll on through.
Hey, Josh,
Yes.
do these hippogriffs seem in any way, or at least any way noticeable, more intelligent or sentient? Kind of like the griffins back at the other half of the tower that we met once upon a time? Or do they just seem to be acting in their normal fashion? Like, should I make a nature roll on that, or?
For that, it's easy enough for you to tell, especially you've seen various creatures like this already, especially with the griffins. These are non-intelligent. They obviously very bestial and primal still.
Okay.
You could tell that they probably stayed up here just simply because of the fact that they're the only ones that could reach up here. So, as you do pass through, you do see also in some of the nests further in, old rusted equipment, farmers' tools, cowbells, other old ancient bones from various locations, probably all over the nation, really. You can even see old banners that have been collected and torn up that were probably previously in a war field and are now just stuffed and rotting away in a old hippogriff nest.
Anything of note, or just more old rusted stuff and torn up stuff?
Bless you, and go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Thank you.
Alright. So, Ramus, you managed to... you're glancing over some of these nests, and you manage to pick out two of them. One seems to have chainmail that seems to have a greenish hue, which you know is familiar to be adamantine.
Ooh.
So you managed to find a set of adamantine chain. Obviously, whatever soldier was previously wearing this didn't do him very good.
Because he was a scrub.
Along with that, you can also see that not very far from there, curiously enough, is a harp.
The what?
A golden harp.
A harp?
Mhm. Doesn't seem to have any broken strings. It doesn't seem to have any strings at all, for that matter. When you pick
How's
it
that
up,
possible?
when you pick it up and you kind of place your hand for a moment, where you can see that it's supposed to rest upon it. It seems like soft moonlight strings kind of dance into your vision as you hold this.
Can I keep walking forward?
Yes, you can.
Remus doesn't particularly care about the chain, but he says if anyone thinks they can sell, it's just something. Oh, not the chain, the harp. He takes the chain in a second.
Alright.
We're just like, yeah, no, we don't want a otherworldly bard thing. We don't. Bards are a nuisance.
I don't have any bars.
Would it be chainmail or a chain shirt?
Chainmail.
Oh, that's heavy. Boo.
Sorry for you.
Opera.
Not every soldier could wear plate mail. The shit's expensive.
Well, guess
It's
going
probably
in
really
our bag.
heavy.
That's true. So with that, as Jin and the Reine Delacroix walk into this room,
I fucking knew it.
immediately gain the attention.
I was like, the lights aren't coming on. Something's in the dark.
As you walk into this very dimly lit section with your beautiful elven eyes,
Oh, that happened.
you immediately gain the ire of what seems to be 3 massive, shambling frost giants that have been guarding this particular entrance hall for some time.
Are they alive, dead?
Very undead. And we're gonna throw
Oh,
them to initiative
man.
as you see them turn their attention over to you as one goes to try and speak, as you see what seems like a very swollen and maggot-ridden tongue just go as it looks in your direction.
Well,
Get rid of the peaceful music. It's fight time.
I mean, I'd figure we'd learn by now to stop just rambling into rooms.
No.
I didn't ramble.
no.
I slowly inched in.
I
I was
meandered.
careful.
It's a good thing their initiative fucking sucks.
maybe you suck, Josh. How about that?
When you get a -2, bro.
Bam, bam.
Wow.
2 questions. One, actually, no, just one.
Mhm.
What is it? Dim? Is it dark? What's it like in here?
In here, it is dim light for the section that the frost giants are in.
Okay, cool. 10 extra feet, yay.
Alrighty. Remus. You hear this strange guttural sound coming from this other room, along with a very loud and heavy scrape of a immense weapon that echoes through the chamber.
I use my bonus to light my sword.
Alrighty.
Where did I put myself?
Put yourself way over.
Okay. Delete. I don't see my token anymore.
That's not good. Let me shuffle it.
Josh, if you move him, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I was like, where'd it go? Yeah. I back behind them, what I'm assuming is the doorway over here.
Yes, sir. This massive entrance, as you can see the main hall here, very clearly guarded by these ancient warriors from long ago. Maybe personal bodyguards or elites, who knows, but obviously their weapons and armor give sway that these are not going to go down very easily.
Yeah, I take a defensive stance.
I should note, they are wearing plate armor.
Of course they are. It's a good thing all my attacks are like magic now, so. Yeah, I guess I'm chilling. I ready myself for in like a defensive stance. These things can't really go very far.
Sadly not. Alrighty. Fellows.
All right. And thank you for not charging in there, by the way.
Yeah, no.
Light 'em up.
All right. Let's see. All right. Casting Insect Plague. 20-foot radius. Centered here.
Alrighty.
Carefully capture and mix up.
Alright. So, from the center of this room, as they kind of burble out, you just see this immense swarms fill this entire chamber, swarming over the frost giants. You can see that, thankfully, this swarm conjured is definitely magical, as you can even see that connecting with some of these insects are freezing over a bit. So thankfully with this magic, they don't slow down.
Okay. All right. Let me see that.
Damage.
Roll that damage.
Not great, but 10 points all around, unless they made their say.
All
Better
right.
than his.
Do you see the first two are not really too bothered by it, but at the same time you assume it's from the freezing aura that they seem to have, as the other one down below kind of turns around and flinches for a moment as they start chewing on more central parts of its face that is still exposed.
All right. Well, I'm maintaining and keeping an eye from an angle over here, but definitely moving into half cover here. All right, that's it for me.
Alrighty. Jean Delacroix. Who would be Jaeger still?
Am I running or is it-
Modar actually has a higher dex than Jin.
Alright, so Bodar first.
I can Rain, or if you'd prefer to, is entirely up to you. Okay.
It's all you.
I am gonna do a thing that is probably ill-advised. Modar is going to step forward up to near Ramus, and between the Delacroix twins, he is going to point his cross staff, and you see a thin green stream of energy begin to build up, winding around from the bottom of each of these stabs. And he thrusts them both forward, and this thin green ray streaks out towards the closest giant. Modar casts Disintegrate.
Oh. So, especially with that, as you see the insects and everything going through, the beam fires through, a huge mass of the insects vanish, along with a humongous chunk of this frost giant's chest and armor just rips through. As you can see, it seems almost confused for a moment before it starts shambling in your direction again, but you just start hearing these loud as huge chunks of flesh and rotted, fetid blood just start pouring out of this creature now.
I smile tightly, make sure that my arcane ward is like floating close by me, and step over by this wall to take brief cover.
Jin.
Anyone nearby, probably only Rain hears Rain and Ramus were probably the only two that hear him quietly murmur to himself, "I've always wanted to do that." So Jin does not want to step into this area, or is it? Yeah, enters the first time on its turn.
Yeah. Anything that enters in that, unfortunately, will be marred by insects.
Yeah. So what is the range on? So Jin is going to run this way. 20, 25, 30, and rather than entering in, he makes like a dashing motion, and his form is shrouded with mist as he disappears and reappears on the other side of this giant, sword raised high above his head. He will lay in. There's a 20
That'll
to
hit.
hit. And then a second one. That's a 13, which will miss, I believe.
Unfortunately not.
Alright, so
Hard.
just the first. Yeah.
You can see pieces of metal shatter away from the first strike. The second one, more solid into one of these sabatons that this massive frost giant is wearing. Will that be all?
Yes, that's Jin. He did all of his things.
Alrighty. And then Mira. Well, she wants to join the fun too, so she's gonna start hustling in there. And then she will get that bonus action rage going. And she'll ready to strike the first giant that gets up next to her. Alright.
My feet. What's that? 1 second, please.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Can I go inside the green box?
If you
If
do,
you-
you'll have to make a con save because there's insects currently in there. It's an area effect spell.
Bell him from the outside. Summon another thing. Rain holy fire.
Could I move like here and do the channel divinity, turn undead? Can I do that?
Yes, you could.
Okay.
So,
I've never used that before though.
it's 30 feet, so that one would be just shy, but these two will be affected. Alright. So, with that, it's been a while since I then aside from the sheets, it can be moved there. Because I believe it should still go by your spell DC for the channel divinity, and I believe it's a wisdom saving throw.
Yes.
Returned.
Like that.
There we are. Alrighty. So I'm gonna make the wisdom saves. What is your spell DC?
I do not know. I gotta go check.
15. Alright. So allow me to make those 2 checks with these bad boys. Alright, they have both failed. Which you could see, especially the one that was disintegrated and the other one that gets briefly blinded as it looks in your direction, Rain. You can see they kind of recoil, feeling some semblance of fear, refusing to go into the afterlife just yet, and don't want to be anywhere near you.
Yeah, they're not ready. Oh. Child divinity is a spell. I can't do a second spell.
It's an action, not a spell. So if you have a bonus action, like spiritual weapon.
I can?
Yeah,
because channel divinity is separate from a spell. It's your ability.
Okay. Okay. So now I want to do the... Wait. No, actually, yeah, I'm just gonna do spiritual weapon then. I think that's something else, but never mind.
That's the best bit.
Unfortunately, that will miss as the plate armor reverberates through this main chamber here. Grab your spiritual knuckle dusters.
Oh, what? My bad.
Alright. This frost giant is gonna start moving into the corner. It's not very
Oh,
happy.
shit. That was not my intention.
When you turned them away from you?
Yes.
This one
Ah,
start marching past Jin to get to the corner here.
Can't quite get much of anywhere though, can he?
Oh no. No, he can't. There is very distinctly a wall there that Jin can see, and it is definitely not a normal structure. It looks like it had been put there by something else.
It's stone or metal or wood?
Entirely stone. It looks like, well, in quick description, it looks like effectively like somebody had shaped it with their hands and put it up there. Though on the smoother side, so very likely a stone-shaped spell? Question mark.
Magic, yeah. Possibly even like mold earth over and over again.
So this giant is going to start shambling over the rain as it starts to lift this frigid great axe over its head. It's gonna make 2 slammings down attacks onto your head with it.
Am I gonna die?
Hopefully not.
If you die to this giant, like a giant, if you die to a giant zombie in one attack at this point, we have all done something exceptionally wrong.
That or it just rolled 2 crits, but no, that did not happen.
There's no way.
Don't ever say it.
Thanks
No
to
way.
baby Jesus.
I've rolled 4 crits in a row before, my friend. Don't ever say it.
One giant. How many D10s can its damage type be?
I mean, you caught me with 2 crits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 2 rage crits, like, aren't they?
Alright, and then it needs to make another con save because it stays there, because it's not smart.
Zombizzle.
Alright, go ahead and give me another 40-10 there, my good man.
Yeah.
As obviously the insects aren't doing immense damage, but they are whittling away at it.
Chip damage. Chip damage is important.
It's very true.
Hem him in. Keep him in there. Get his ass.
Alrighty. Ramus.
If I get right up to the border, can I hit up? Or
Yes, you can. Because as long as you don't enter the area, the insects will not devour you.
so, yeah, I take cracks at him.
Alright. Swing heavy and hard.
Alright, okay.
This is like the Nutcracker, but metal.
It is true, yeah. Alright, that just hits.
Oh.
There you go, that definitely connects.
Wait. So for Ramus, a 5 just barely hits.
Meh.
Jesus Christ, he's a monster.
He is
I was
the
ta-
sweetest of boys.
I was
that
talking.
is-
I helped a player roll a character for my campaign the other day. He was like, "What about Blood Hunters?" And I said, "Hands down, Blood Hunter is one of the scariest classes because you can just get absolute wreckers." And I used Ramus as my example.
He's an excellent example. And I'm pumping my beating tomorrow.
Yeah, that sword is something else.
Oh yeah, but it does have its drawbacks. It's just Ramus has been smart. But yes.
Yeah, immediately, oh yeah, go ahead, take more power.
Yeah, do it. Take more. So, with those 2 heavy strikes, you just lacerate straight into the armor and start separating some of the plates. You can tell, even though this armor's held together, it's definitely not magical, thankfully. As you start rending in, you can smell the rot just start pouring out. But you also start to feel as well, being this close, that there's just this freezing chill of death surrounding this creature.
It's brought. Is it like? No, I'm gonna take opportunity damage if I escape, aren't I?
You can try if you want. Didn't seem very accurate. It's flung wildly. It's not like a finesse of a ancient fighter. It's still a zombie.
Yeah, screw it. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Alright. So where are you?
Use my movement to move back to like here.
To there? Alright. That'd be just out of its reach, so it'll come to attempt to slap you as you get out of this frigid, deathly cold air. At which that swings down, slams past you, not even fully connecting. You just feel like a slight graze of the frost icicles that are on it, and just smashes into the marble floor once again.
That's my turn. My shadow is in front of it. That's
The entourage is ready. Thalos.
All right. Moving here I cast Blight on this one.
Alrighty. Constitution. I don't know.
Thank you,
Mona. That disintegrate speaks other volumes.
Such a fun spell. Look, I rolled 78. That's such a big number.
So with that, Ramus,
Woo!
you cast out this negative energy. You just see the desiccation. As more flesh just grows taut. All of the blood and the festering maggots just die. You can see insects that were in it just falling out as it's just now shriveling away.
You see Modar like, okay.
Alright, I step back to the cover.
He flips a couple pages through on the book and says, "Oh, I see."
That's it.
Modar will step out of cover, pop into the room, double check ranges, and we'll also aim for this one here with a blight because that seemed like a great idea.
Hell yeah.
DC 17. Please.
Alright. Much
Mine
the-
is just a little smaller.
So this thing, you see all the insects fall out. Next you see it almost skin tight, like no muscle or flesh is there. As just as it looks like it's almost about to crumble to dust inside its own armor at this point.
I don't have any good bonus actions I want to do just yet, so I'll pop back over here. That'll be me.
Alrighty. At that, you can see that one fucking hella close to just dropping.
Ooh.
Jean, you have the scared boy, but you also feel the cold.
Oh.
It's not pleasant.
Oh, is it frosty?
It's starting to creep over your armor. You can even see that some of the fire and runes over you are actually starting to get frost.
No. Not the frost.
Since you start your turn there, go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
What? That seems like it's not necessary. 17.
You just made it.
Oh.
As you
Okay.
feel it, as
Oh,
you can
well.
actually feel the frost is starting to lock your armor up, and you start to see icicles holding your joints as you're still able to just power through and break through this ice. You could tell if it was any more, you wouldn't be able to do any more than just your one attack. It was literally starting to turn you into a block of ice.
That's no fun at all. Okay, with a whistle and a toss, the dancing longsword flies into the air to get on the other side of this thing. An 11 will not nearly be enough, but hopefully it can allow Jin to do some work from the front. That's a 30.
Jesus fucking Christ. I hope that hits. Yes.
Okay, great. We're gonna do a level 3 smite on that, so that's gonna be 8d8 plus this.
Damn, that's a hefty hit.
So that is 2, 14, 20 plus 20. That's 44 damage in the first. And he'll swing again. But a 13 will not do it, so just the 44.
Alrighty. Now with that, he is no longer feared by range. He has been struck.
Oh, that breaks the turn? Okay.
Mm-hmm. the moment they're struck or something else assails them, they are no longer feared and they'll turn on you. Alrighty. You're seeing opportunity is knocking. Well, she's just gonna get in there and try and fucking slap a thick man down.
This is her habit.
She's used to taking down big men.
Oh.
Back range.
22 to hit. The other, especially with the heavy armor, that she has a slightly tougher time getting through these guys.
Didn't we have giants make her some cool stuff?
Yeah, you did. She got that badass armor. She'll do the 15 damage to that, which is enough, but let's see. Undead Fortitude.
Oh, fuck. DC 20.
No, this one goes down very heavily, just as you can see after the double blight from Thalos and Modar, just disintegrates into dust the moment it hits, and there's just armor and a weapon on the floor. Ring.
So I'm going to go over yonder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I call my spiritual weapon over this far? Wait a minute, let me double check.
Yeah, you should be able to move it, but it would not be able to reach that forward.
Yeah, it can only move like 20 feet, right?
That was 30.
It's 30.
As a
Right.
bonus action, move the weapon up to 20 feet and repeat the attack to a creature within 5 feet.
Alright, so yeah.
The one that's still scared, is that the one he disintegrated?
The one, yeah.
Yeah,
That one's super hurt and terrified in the corner, so we'll get him last.
he's crying in
Yeah.
the corner, praying.
I was gonna say I can fly over there.
Well, I mean, Thalos can end concentration at any point, like even during somebody else's turn.
That is true.
Yeah, it's getting too hairy for y'all. I guess.
Just, yeah,
I mean, if
communicate,
you guys
you know?
got that locked down, then I'd go north. Well, east.
Get him, Rain!
Did I drop it?
I'm not certain what I want to do here.
You could if you want, though, so you could definitely see that obviously the one that was in it is out of it, and the other two are like, well, one was hiding in the corner, and then Jin managed to strike it and piss it off, and then the other one is now still cowering in the corner.
Okay. In case I drop them.
Alright. Insect Swarm finally comes to a slow fade.
Oh, so the bugs are gone?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet. I want to attack, but I don't think my heartbreaker can reach.
Unfortunately
That
not.
dude.
You could do
Well-
a guiding bolt, but you do know that these guys are heavily armored. So up to your discretion.
Sacred Flame is the saving throw.
That too. You can cantrip them.
At this level, cantrips are scary.
Yes, they are.
Are they?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did 30-some damage with a cantrip last game.
What? No way.
Toll the Dead is disgustingly good. Toll the Dead is one of the best cantrip for damage. I know you got something crazy in that cleric back pocket.
think I have many options right now. Can I just be on standby for the next round.
So you're just gonna hold your action, or just?
Is that something I could do? Could I do something in terms of like preparing any kind of reaction?
You definitely can. You would have to specify what you're doing, like spell, attack, or because there would have to be a trigger.
Well, I kind of want to help my bro out in front of me.
You could use your action to dash if you don't want to attack and just move up closer to him.
Yeah.
But I already moved though.
Right, but you use your action to dash to gain more movement.
Yeah, you would just
Because
double
you-
your move speed, and then you wouldn't be able to attack.
But it costs your action to do that.
Oh, okay. I thought you can only do dash in like one single like I guess whatever movement you would do on your turn.
No, you can break up
Okay.
movement as much as you want. You can
Okay.
stutter step your way through. If you're like an archer with a bow, you could take 5-step fire, take 5-step fire. You could do that as many times as you want, as long as you have the actions.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. So I'm gonna dash forward. Let me see. So if I can dash, how much further can I go? Is it just
Your speed
another
again.
30 feet?
Yeah, another 30.
Perfect. So if I go on the other side of this whale, this troll, this thing, my brother will get an advantage on his next attack. No?
Yes, he would.
Okay. So then I'll stay here.
All right. So, these giant cowers in the corner. This giant. Let's see. Well, he didn't like getting hit, so he's gonna hit Jin with that deep freeze stare. So roll me another Constitution saving throw, Jin.
Yes, sir. That's a 14.
Fortunately not. And with that, you see these.
Do I get the bonus because of paladin things?
Should already be in there.
If it's alright, okay.
But with that, you do see the angered eye beams launch out from the face of this horrific frost giant zombie
That'd be scary.
as it fucking slams into Jin. You can actually see parts of him starting to freeze over. And it does 28 cold damage. And you are now paralyzed. As you see the frost just freeze his body over for a moment, locking him in place. And that will be until the end of this one's next turn. Ramus.
Do you guys need help down there?
Well, depends.
Yeah, because unfortunately now that Jin is paralyzed, he would not be able to be considered a threatening target.
Right. So now, until Jin can make his save, I assume, or is it just for the one round?
It's just for the one round.
Oh, okay. Well,
Till the end of the Frost Giant's next turn.
Jin could probably last. He's just not. He's gonna need to take time to heal himself, probably, because, yeah, because Rain wants to hit. So, up to you. The other one is kind of, can't do anything at the moment. So,
Locked down in limbo.
the other one's not going anywhere.
All right. Can I shadow teleport in combat, or is that out of? Would it be bonus action? Would I use the bonus action? Or?
For that, once they are summoned, they can't be teleported unless they're banished first with a bonus action.
No. Me, because you gave me.
Oh,
the
that's right.
Shadow. Yeah.
My bad. I'm thinking you're teleporting your shadows. No, you can do that mid-combat, yes.
Okay, bonus or
Yes, that would be a bonus action, like Misty Step.
oh, I don't even need it if I'm coming down here. Yeah, so I hop over here and start trying to take chunks out of this thing.
Rip and tear. That's definitely fucking connect.
The 12 doesn't, I'm assuming.
Unfortunately not, and the 17 will also miss because he has an 18 AC.
17 shouldn't have been anyway, but... Oh, okay, 2 fire. Never mind. 22.
22. As you start sundering into this creature, just guttural growls. As it's now angered between being pinned in a corner, stabbed with fire, hit with the holy radiance.
You really tapping me here with the no claw hits.
Unfortunately, that heavy armor of the elite guards. Thalos.
Alright, I'm going to attempt... Well, first I'm going to step into the room, and I'm going to attempt to firebolt this guy. At the very least to distract him from Jin, since he's still an easy target.
Alright. Unfortunately, slams in. You can see a slight glaze on the ice, but does not pass through the armor.
Okay. My bonus attack, I'm going to try to fling the backbiter spear. Also, just glance it off to the gun.
Unfortunately not. He'll collide with the heavy armor of this creature.
Okay. I'm actually going to stay in room. Right there. The guy near in the shadows. And put myself in the ground.
Alright. Modar.
Alright. I mean, I think it is time for Modar to join people in the room as well. He's going to point down and, remembering the plate mail, will rely on the dolorous sounds of a ringing bell. And a wisdom save to see if it can handle that.
Which you think it's just from the wind, the tunnel, everything that's blowing through here. The reverberation does not seem to reach this frost giant and his moment of ire.
Interesting. A little step casually behind Nira. You know, almost like, no, yeah, just, you know, casually.
Another creature frothing with ire and rage.
Yeah. So Jin is paralyzed. Is there anything he can do? That's Modar's turn.
Unfortunately, Jin paralyzed, turn gone.
Okay.
Nira is gonna come fucking barreling down in this direction. And it's gonna do a full set of swings on this motherfucker. And connect all of them. So that 66 plus 24. So, I need to make an undead fortitude check for this one. So that this one as well. As she comes over and first chop into the other inside leg, the other one on the ankle, and then just quickly slams across the side of the back leg and drags it up and slams through the back of the groin before this thing just slams into the fucking marble below you.
So I don't even get to hit it with my Heartbreaker.
Sadly not.
Dang. Okay.
But mate, there's still one more.
I know, but it's all the way over there now.
I know.
I gotta go chase this bastard down.
Reach it with your spells as it was before it was within range of your hammer.
I like swinging it.
I like
No
slapping.
problem. I like hitting things. I can't hit stuff. It's so goddamn fun. Alright, yeah, I'll use one of my spells. Keep it. I'll go with... First weapon can only move 20 feet, that's my technique.
Yeah, unfortunately, a little bound.
Dang. I'm just gonna do, ooh, could I do inflict wounds on him? Wait, how much?
I believe that
far?
would be a touch attack.
Okay. I'll go guiding bolt first.
So move up your 30 and get in view of him.
Yeah, oh,
Woof.
wait, I didn't need to, wait, I was supposed to move up first. Shucks.
Don't worry, that'll still count.
Okay.
But you definitely
you.
fucking hit him with a guiding bolt.
Yeah, good. Better land.
Managed to find that open spot, that Modar disintegrate, and send the bolt flying straight into his chest.
Good.
Ooh, nasty.
Better
Is
hurt.
nasty.
That.
Yeah.
As it is. Turning in your direction now, finally. Shakes the fear, finally being struck. Will that be all right?
Let me think. No. Nope, no I can't. That wasn't an open attack. Shit. Yeah, I think that's it for me. No. Wait, can I bring the spiritual weapon closer, please? Can I just do that at least before I
That spiritual weapon is not happy getting jerked around.
It's really not. It's like, what am I even here for today? Called me out for nothing.
She scared him away. I'm flying here, no insect swarm.
Like, what are these bugs on me? Yeah.
Gonna have to take a
Not happy
shower
with
when I
me.
get home.
Yeah, it's not happy with me at all.
Alright, now with that then, said frost giant. Well, he's finally gonna come and try and get some vengeance.
Hmm.
The heavy thuds as he comes at you
Wanted to use your hammer, right?
with the great axe.
Have you ever been wielded while petrified and frozen by a giant?
No.
Would you like to?
So, this giant comes over. First swing chops next to you in the marble. Second one coming at you, managed to glancing blow it off your armor and slam it into the stone beside you. You can tell that was a lot closer than you'd like it to be. Ramus.
Is this advantage spot over here?
Yes, it would be.
he's gonna get the business.
Slice him down. Oh, those claws are just not fucking cooperating today.
Claws are limp.
Your ass limp.
No face limp.
Alright, 34.
Uh,
Not bad.
Alrighty.
Let me see how these things can get
Stand
close.
up, great.
Yay! The squad comes down. Finally.
Is they're coming to fucking suck the fucking strength out of a giant. Unfortunately, that well, the 20 will hit. That's 11. Aquatic, and then undead fortitude. But that, as your shadows all immediately come over and just start grabbing into the flesh, reaching through the armor. Just immediately, as you see the light finally snuff out, and the frost stops and just falls to its knees.
Before the Ramus sticks his sword in the back of its head, drink.
You see the remain of this elite soldier, this frost giant, just get ripped straight down Durotona Bar. Just a brief flash of light in the eyes. You could feel the cold surge through your arm for a moment. And that is combat.
It deflamed my soul.
Let's hit some lay on hand Jin into himself.
As he breaks away the ice from his body.
Is he the only one who took hits?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, the other ones that attempted to swing on Rain missed horribly.
Red today, you go left the house. Yes.
Sweet,
Jin
that was
is
good.
just gonna give a deep. Well, I guess he'll wait. No, yeah, he'll walk over to the wall and give a deep sniff of divine sense. See if there's anything that registers in his awareness within 60 feet of this wall.
Within 60 feet of that wall, and that detects Fey, Fiend, Celestial, and Undead. You do not detect anything.
Okay.
Would an axe from one of these things be... Oh no, it'd be too big for her, wouldn't they?
For these, unfortunately, yeah, these giants, their axes are literally massive and currently covered with a shitload of icicles and are basically freezing to the touch. But you can assume that's also from them currently wielding it with whatever painful wrath was still coursing through their undead and unrested bodies. So, investigating Modar, you can tell that continuing on, there doesn't seem to be really any form of necromancy that was performed on this. This seems to be strictly from ire and will alone. You've heard of myths of this happening before. Giants that have usually been able to ascend to Jotunheim and such magnificent strength, and especially these ones very clearly the elite guard. Obviously that was an entrance to maybe the home entrance or the inner sanctum of their lordship. Obviously currently closed off from what you could tell, but aside from that, they are highly decorated, even though their armor, some of it desiccated, destroyed. You tell that the one Ramus and Rain is surrounding currently, well, it was wearing kind of like a leopard fur pelt over their shoulder, but that had been completely destroyed. But they do have various and much more ornate personal items. One, obviously, is a very nice miniature of a tree made from spinel. The other one has a sable ribbon inlaid with bronze, obviously denoting what rank he was. You could tell that he was probably the head guard of the entire castle, probably the elite of elite, comparatively, by frost giants. Along with that, you also find...
These guys were the bee's knees.
Pretty much. These guys were basically answering only to those who were superior. You know, Ramus, that giants follow a thing called the Ordning, where every race listens to the greater race by law or by force if they must. Thus meaning Hill Giant listens to like Fire Giant listens to Frost Giant listens to I believe Stone Giant, and then Cloud Giant and such. But
Sounds like oppression. That's just me.
pretty
I
much
thought
it.
Storm was the top. Am I wrong?
Storm is the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Only surpassed by Titan.
Right.
Which basically that's what the father of giants Amon is. But with that, you also find a ornate silver mirror set with Ezra. It is a hand mirror, but it is so big it might as well be a body mirror for all of you. Along with that, you find a beautifully made ebony bowl that one of them has. It would be pretty much the equivalent of what would it be? Probably like a large soup pot, effectively, but it is beautifully made in lacquered black wood.
Okay.
And then on their other personage, you do find one that seems to have a very, very old potion of healing made for a giant. So effectively, you have a bottle that has about 6 potions of healing in it.
Ooh.
Just regular.
Yep, just a regular potion of healing. You could tell it was probably for literal emergencies, which obviously, by some means, never got the chance to use it.
There were how many of them?
It's one mega jug, like if you bought a discount potion, but it's just a giant size crystalline potion bottle. So there's 6.
I was gonna say, can I dip like one of mine in to take?
Definitely can.
Because I have alchemist supplies.
Yeah, you could easily ladle them out or tip them out with a funnel if you would like, and separate them into 6 potions.
Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to link that, but
All right.
yeah, I guess I take. I don't know. I guess would I have enough jars for 2 of them? You think?
Oh, easily, considering how many potions you guys have collectively used. I would imagine you have a few of them saved up.
Okay. Yeah. I fill a couple.
Alright.
Does anybody want one on their person? Or
You know what? Take one.
all right. Remus throws it 1 at Modar and pockets 3.
Okay.
So, obviously, looking over this concordance hole, You can tell that it's very possible that this might be where either officials or other giants that have come visiting the castle have obviously arrived to be able to diplomatically handle situations, or other of the most likely meeting with either the head jarl or main leader of this castle that was currently presiding over them. You do see that there are multiple beautiful marble chairs set into the wall on the upper platform, obviously for being able to discuss matters. And
Anything with gems that can be pried out?
for that, it does look like it's been quite thoroughly ravaged at that point from whoever originally attacked this place. And the remainder of the bodies that seem to have a few pieces remaining on them just clearly weren't either bothered with or weren't grabbed in the mad combat that had happened here.
Are there any paths to anywhere else?
You do see the one that is currently blocked off by a spell-made structure, as far as you can tell. But you did see that on one of the upper platforms there was another grand doorway past the hippogriff nests.
Should we check the rest of this place out then?
I was gonna say, can Modar manipulate this wall with mold earth?
Yes, you can.
I could make a way through here. Finn seems to think there's not any more monsters on the other side. Good enough for me, at least, for right now. We did have a goal.
Yeah.
Should we
why not?
backtrack?
No, let's screw it. We're here. Unless everybody wants to backtrack.
No, let's see what's on the other side.
Okay, it probably takes a couple castings of mold earth, but Modar with both hands basically just keeps passing his hands to the side, and slowly the earth begins to slide to the side, almost like it's turning to liquid and raining downwards, but horizontally. And a small hole opens that then gets larger and larger until it's large enough to accommodate a medium creature.
With that, before you, Modar, as you open up into the Grand Hall, the private sanctum of the Lord, you can see in this main chamber here various pieces of art line everything across the wall in the chamber. Various books, urns, and historical documents seem to be kept in tidy, neat sections. A humanoid desk, well, made for the size that you are, a medium creature, obviously sits at one end of the hall, covered with various inks, all seemingly that have a strange hue or glow to them, scrolled all out in Draconic.
Just be wary about open doorways you can't quite see into yet. There's plenty of zombies around here.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh my. Oh.
Reaching up to touch these giant book spines that are almost as tall as he is.
So, run your fingers across these and looking at all these various books. Some for medium creatures, others that are old giant tomes. You can see that, can you read giant?
I cannot read giant, but I can read draconic.
Alright, so for the giant ones, they are mystery unless someone...
Unless I ask Nira.
Pretty much. But you do see that the draconic ones seem to be cataloging the history of the various giants in their loud giant castles, along with the various jarls and the other heraldry that they had previously had presiding over these said castles, and some that had been lost during the war, others that had been assailed, And this is kind of just a lost, forgotten remnant, a sliver. You would assume, well, you wouldn't assume, but others could easily assume that whatever has been recording this might have been watching King Snare for some time, as it still has record of the Chainbreaker, who had originally freed themselves during the uprise against each other, fire giants fighting against their captors as the castle had started to erupt into combat and parts were breaking off while it was being assailed.
Interesting. I will definitely, if I have time, come back and do a more thorough investigation of these.
And then, as Jin forward, he will see in the chamber here, to his left on the right side of the map, you would see a grand hall filled with paintings depicting all various states of this castle, leading all the way up to what seems like one enormous, magnificent warrior. Clearly some kind of storm giant or other kind, maybe possibly even Titan blood, as you see him raising up one magnificent hammer and seems to be rallying all the others to his cause, calling them in a absolutely majestic leader at the time, and even another depicting mural on the other side where it has been completely woven into the tapestry of a full mead hall. You see frost giants, fire giants, cloud and storm giants, all feasting after what seems to be one magnificent battle, and you can very easily tell that they still had what seems to be white dragons almost like as pets at the side of the Jarl, as well as what seems to be other dragons currently on the feasting table, cooked and being eaten by the other giants.
Are these the size that we can take, or are they just like, would that be like trying to remove a whole wall?
For the tapestries, it would take definitely some time. They're extremely heavy, but it would probably take you a good half hour to, pull them from the wall, roll them up, put them away.
I was going to say that would look cool in our tavern.
In the room on the right, you would see that there is a makeshift closet / reliquary. You can see some displays that are all there, but they're all sized for medium creatures to be able to see it visibly, look at it and witness it. Others that seem to be old clothes set out in various chests and such, like somebody's been living in this space. You can see the more regal designs, various kind of electrum and gold thread, silver thread, some that have various jewelry set out and obviously well kept there. It doesn't look
like someone's currently living in it, or
like somebody currently lives here. It's all perfectly clean and kept, but it is all for a medium-sized creature. For the jewelry, it's easily able to discern that it is less feminine. There are still necklaces and other such things, amulets, things that would be more decorative towards like ballroom or noble or baron, but obviously all very well kept, laid out in proper display. Very organized. As for the relics that you see laying about in the room, that are obviously in well kept and very decorative displays. Excuse me.
Right.
I'd like to know whose it is, but
Josh.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Is there dust in the room? Like you said, it's very well kept, but does it look like it's it was well kept and it's been abandoned, or has the room been cleaned of dust, considering it's an abandoned castle?
Completely clean of dust.
So this person was here recently.
Yes.
Are there any signs, any way we can track them? Bloodhunter?
Can I look and smell and stuff?
For that, you definitely can. Go ahead and roll me a perception, my good man. Obviously at advantage. Alright. It's not very hard to really pick up on this. Obviously, since everything is very clean, but obviously still very used. While historically kept, you get a very unique smell. Been a very long time since you've smelled something like this. There's most definitely a dragon who lives here. You assume that it's very possible when they assume humanoid form, or when they come here they assume a humanoid form to have more space to keep
Silver dragon?
Possibly. You know that some dragons have been able to shapeshift and basically take humanoid form.
Alright, I guess it's time for us to make a new friend. We haven't collected anyone in a while. Can we follow the scent, sort of?
Yes, it does. It does kind of mix across the way, but you get the scent more heavily traversing through the main area here, because you can see a little bit across the way what leads into what looks like some kind of aerial garden.
Are we going to check this place out, or should we meet this person? I relay all of that. That probably shouldn't take anything yet because it smells like dragon in here.
I do believe we said we should discuss terms with Dragon before we do anything rash here. Maybe keep the dragon slaying bolts that we acquired on the down low. I don't know if you do we do that? Is that a cool thing to say? The down low, keep it chill, dog. You know, we gotta be.
Smells like dragon, so please.
Right. Sorry.
So, on the various pedestals, as you do pass by them, you do see what looks like almost kind of like a ballroom mask, except emblazoned fully with green and various inset stones that rest upon it. Another item that you do take note of as you walk by it is a curious-looking little key. It is a very strange-looking item, though. It doesn't look like it would normally fit into an average lock, but the inset of the pommel on the back seems to have what looks like a labyrinth laid onto it. Another that isn't covered by glass seems to be a mandolin that looks like it has quite a few sheets of music that have been laid out right next to it, along with a beautiful set of various picks, all made from precious gemstone. Behind another set of glass display, you can see there is a metal-bound tome. There's a soft red velvet, 2 chains that have been overlaid on the main latch, 2 heavy locks that keep it clasped shut tightly, as well as various precious gemstones inlaid into the metal covering the front of this tome. With the other denote, you do see
Do you
that
think
there
the
is...
dragon would know how to destroy a magic book? Because we still have that thing that we're trying to get rid of. Or did that disappear with Aiden? Ivan.
Was Aiden the one holding it?
What?
That like, magic, like necromancy tome that we couldn't
Book
destroy.
go from the Temple of Dagon.
Yeah.
I think unless Rain had it, because Rain and Aiden were the two that disagreed on how to deal with it.
Yeah, but I think it was in Aiden's possession.
I do as well.
Y'all,
It was It was in his bag unless we left it at like the temple to go, or like in our rooms to go shopping that morning.
y'all.
Yo.
My internet's out, so I cannot see what's going on at this point. So I'm just gonna listen.
That's
Okay.
good. It's all RP currently.
Perf.
On the
He's now in a completely different realm with the Tome of Dagon.
It's now theoretically way safer than it was before.
yeah.
Like, if Aiden just puts it down on a table in that realm and then gets teleported back here, it is safer than anything we could have done with it in this plane.
Okay.
Like, remember, this is a place where Modar is just like a regular lawyer. He's a level 11 wizard.
Alright. Probably still a good question to ask, but
No, yeah, very pertinent. Very, very pertinent.
And we translate that or did we find a way to open that other magic tome we got from Evil Wizard?
The other one?
From his when we kicked his ass out of his own mansion.
Oh. All of his books and stuff, that also, a lot of that was in Aiden's bag.
sad day.
I mean, GM, which
like quest items.
right, I think a lot of that stuff would have been left in the main treasure hoard, unless, because like it's not like Aiden referenced it or anything like that.
Yeah, I would
He's
say
not
that
smart
would be in
enough
the
to
main
read it.
treasure hoard.
Okay.
So those books and journals are still there.
Are we still aiming to try and open that magical lock to see what this dude was planning?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you show it to Modar, he should actually be able to unlock it. I can cast knock,
So I was gonna say,
or I can dispel the magic on it. Very good at that.
because that was like something we couldn't do ourselves.
Right, we didn't have any utility casters. That is something we could do now. Something to remember once we get back on the ship. But let's find a dragon right now.
Well, it's coming from this way, so this is probably the best way to go to try and beat him.
Alright, Smashy Boys in the front. Rain, get up there. Oh, wait. Fuck, Rain can't see. Piss.
The record over. The near our rain squad. Alrighty. And then the only other things that you do take note of in here is a peculiar looking bottle that seems to have some various wards on the glass itself surrounding it, but you see it has strange rope bound around it and various runes that are labeled onto it and what seems to be a cork stopper. But even though it is seemingly a simple cork, it still seems to have some kind of swirling energy within the glass of itself. Besides that, you also see a very mean and cruel looking dagger, one that almost seems to kind of drip anger and venom from the look of it that seems to be stained with a deep red and brown hue, like blood has festered and dried on this long ago and just stained the very metal itself. As a small dagger, but one that you can feel malice from, and is very obvious why it has been set behind runic protected glass, from what you could tell. As well as two other items that sit at the display beside it. One old crown has a beautiful construct of a Art Deco design, very square in shape for most of it. Nice, perfectly cut gemstones, rubies, sapphires, and diamonds are inlaid, going across all the way. And then one magnificent, almost luminous diamond at the very top of the crown that sits upon what appears to be a soft, shimmering red longsword.
Ooh. I would love to cast a detect magic.
It is almost blinding in this room.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Be very careful, but I think we should investigate those displays. Jesus.
The one that grabs your attention the most, but is also the most blinding, is the grimoire that's set behind glass with the two double chains locking the iron tome shut.
Oh my. Oh, I want that book, dog. Oh.
I would be much obliged to have,
Does the glass look... Can I see if the glass has magical aura? Do I see what looks like magical traps of any kind protecting
Basically,
these?
all
glass
of the
cases?
displays are magical.
Mm.
You can tell that these have been purposely locked away either by protection, preservation, or safety of the person who's observing them.
Okay.
You definitely get that feeling, especially for particularly the bottle and the dagger.
Okay. Like, even just looking at it is dangerous. Okay, I relay that information, that the bottle is probably something we don't want to fuck with, and the dagger is something to be very careful of, but...
I generally wouldn't touch anything in a dragon's room.
yes, probably still good to talk to the dragon in question first.
Also, for those looking at the crown, you could go ahead and roll me a history.
Ooh. I'm okay at that. Fuck. Can I use my inspiration?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I don't have any.
Fuck!
Anybody else?
Jin will roll. With the -1, he did as good as Modar. Fuck me. Nira.
We don't really pay attention to history.
It's fair. But,
Delos, how about you?
I'll give it a shot.
You know about this book?
I don't know.
Delos is all the way over there. He's like, I am absolutely not getting cursed with the rest of you.
He's been smart. He hasn't been cursed. He hasn't made deals with devils.
Smart one in the group. He's got all his brain cells.
Hey, our first deal with the devil helped us figure out a way to fight these guys.
That is true.
Well, you got just defensive.
So,
Not that we wouldn't have found a runestone.
it's hard to just discern where this crown has come from, but the most you can definitely discern is definitely dwarven heraldry. Is obviously a very highly respected king, one of very high power announcement of the entirety of the Dwarven kingdoms across the lands. As you know, that there was at some previous point that the Dwarven nations were all united together under one banner, and this marks the heraldry of the one that it seems to be missing from its lore, a long forgotten kingdom, along with the other smaller dwarven settlements, or, well, what were smaller and are now massive city-states, all marked on the crown as well, with small heraldries tied in as you look at the gems.
Forgotten king of old. That's dope.
And Modar, you would definitely notice that some of the displays do have illusion magic cast on them.
Which ones?
Particularly the sword that sits with the crown, as well as the tome, the mask, as well as the key.
Okay. Mask, key, the sword, the crown are all illusion.
There is quite a bit of enchantment in this room. I would hesitate to poke around before we know more. Perhaps our host would be kind enough to enlighten us. I do once again cross fingers for silver and not white dragons, though.
And I gesture backwards at the murals that we saw before.
That doesn't seem as likely now. Onwards?
Onward.
Alrighty. So, entering out into this section, as you do see that there is quite a massive hole in the center of it, though around the various edges, beautiful gardens, flowers and fruit bushes and trees that have filled the certain sections of it decorate this entire area. You tell that aside from it being well kept in the manner, you do see what seems like animated pruning shears, as well as other garden tools that seem to systematically work on their own, maintaining the various plants, trees, bushes, and flowers that decorate this open courtyard. Definitely not Cloud Giant-esque. You could tell this was probably originally a training yard. There's still, obviously, the few dummies that have been set out, but you can see that tools and other equipment are now decorating the very durable dummies that have been set there before for the various Storm and Cloud Giants that had originally practiced their swordsmanship in this grand entry hall to the main meat hall. You do see, though, that some of the fruits look like they're in season, others that you definitely don't recognize from far-off lands that are obviously from overseas, some that, curiously enough, almost kind of emulate what looks like a small shimmering campfire, almost like if there was soft red glowing embers, even though the outside of the fruit seems to almost be like a burnt blackened kind of fruit. You can see that it's still not really rotted, it's very smooth and clean, and the veins on it just have that soft pulsing glow of heat, but it doesn't seem to be hot. With a few others, you do see that there are curiously pear-shaped fruit that seems almost like as if it had the skin of a snake from the look of it. The texture feels kind of strange if you run your fingers along it, but it is seemingly alright as far as you can tell. Others that are more familiar to you, a simple apple tree, some that are lime trees, as well as what seems to be a passion fruit tree. The one that seems the most distinct to you at the far end, the very corner of this garden chamber. Well, it's hard to really elaborate on. You study it for a moment. You can go ahead and roll me a nature or an arcana for this discerning one. Oof.
Hold on, wait. This is my time. Fuck.
It's all that matter of being in a different land.
I don't know shit.
Oh my fucking god.
The flat
Everyone's just fucking flexing on Modar right now.
It's fine. This is what I am here for. To get shit on and cast utility spells.
So, you do see that this particular item, or well, this tree, I should say, that is much more of magnificent size than you would usually see elsewhere. It's a dragon leaf tree. You know that these are usually in the possession of particularly one dragon master, or even historically as the soul of an ancient dragon that had remained behind or has been used to commune with the heritage and family of the said dragon. You do know that they are sentient, though you usually need to cast speak with plants, to be able to commune with it, or to have the spiritual connection with the very tree itself. These leaves shimmer in beautiful metallic silver. The bark itself is very deep inlay set of silver metals. As you can see that the very roots and spreading branches underneath that are set into the ground almost seem like silver veins that are naturally growing into the earthwork itself.
So much cool stuff, and I want to touch all of it, but
That's the hardest shit in the world too. It's like, I don't need it. I don't need it.
but like I'd like to meet this guy before we or girl before we start poking around in the dragon stuff. Not fun enemies to make. Can I smell it?
It's definitely very distinct. You would almost confuse it with the dragon leaf tree, but you could tell that it still awaits in the Grand Hall. The scent is most strong from there. So you could definitely tell that in this garden itself, especially with the tree, it's almost like a breath of fresh air, a relieving sigh, just very relaxed energies that wash over you. If anyone were ever to be looking for the definition of a peace garden, this would be the place that you tell them to go to experience a true peace garden.
This is where the dragon grows their CBD.
100%. There's definitely pipeweed plants in the corner. I'm not kidding either. There's actually some really good dragon kush in the corner.
Sweet, we'll have to inquire about that.
Imagine perfecting that kind of fucking kush over like 10,000 years. Damn.
I feel like a lot of growers that look for like old seeds and stuff for strains that haven't been in circulation. So if you ever find like old weed in a jar somewhere from like a relative and it has seeds in it, that's actually like money.
So.
Stuff that makes you feel like your face is melting off in like a good way.
So.
Speaking of face melting, let me hack again.
As you enter into the grand meat hall, where the mighty Jarl and Jotun still slumbers.
Wow.
You can see the grand tables spread across. You can even hear what seems like the soft echoes.
Wait, that's the master of this castle, the Jarl.
Yeah, the statue we saw before.
Oh, he's just chilling.
He is
Sleeping.
asleep.
Like magic sleep? Or
Yeah, with my detect magic, is it?
Oh, it is definitely a magical sleep.
Okay, cool. Out of curiosity, what on him is magic? Probably that mace.
So, just to give you a full-blown look at this man. He is.
Yeah, I'd mess with him. I'd pick a fight with that guy.
He is obviously far beyond that of your average storm giant. Very clearly Titanborn. A Jotun. From Jotunheim, most likely.
So if for whatever reason we have to fight this guy, we probably want the dragon on our side.
With that, you see the silver dragon, who seems to be reading through one of the massive giant's tomes that lay before him. Just very slow head swivel in your direction. I have not had guests for many a day.
Can we tell if this is the one we saw flying around outside?
For that, it is very easily able to discern that this is definitely the one that had initially checked your ship out, but left it alone.
Greetings, Silverwater.
Modar will bow deeply, and extend a respectful draconic greeting. I'm not sure exactly what form that would take.
Bowing is acceptable. But with that, he gets up with a very relaxed and slow stride, starts to head over to all of you, past the massive storm giant mead tables that are there. Massive, large barrels that are still lining the wall that obviously are very long empty, but kept in order and in place from where they were.
I clearly ensure that my weapons are sheathed.
You could
Yeah, somebody kick Jin.
Yeah, I have my shadows back up a little bit.
It is an honor, Winged One.
Jin would probably also say something flowery as well.
Being the nobleman,
Woody.
I mean, lawful
I feel
good,
like
good
we're-
respects good, right? No, yeah, maybe not.
Woody challenge him
No. I feel like he would have, like, a little drop of sarcasm somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, real cool place you got here. Big hole in
Yeah.
the floor though.
Yeah,
Should get that fixed. Get that looked at maybe.
yeah. I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy could get some help up here for you. We actually do contracting businesses. We've got some services we could offer.
Yeah, got you.
My name is Frovnoth, Protector of the Sky.
Frovnoth?
Hobnob.
Pleasure to meet you, Faroche.
Ferrero Rocher. I am not a chocolate.
Oh, you look delicious though. Little snack.
Did you just call him a snack?
Yeah, Aiden's flirting with the dragon from beyond the grave.
Aiden, you motherfucker!
Oh.
Get back on that other side, you motherfucker!
Oh my goodness.
Control me, God.
All right. Jesus Christ.
I would like to extend a formal thanks to you for not prematurely landing our guy vessel.
I did observe that there was no weaponry on board. And you did not seem to be adamantly hunting the castle. I've been keeping this location obviously protected in secret, mostly on the concern that Fiernar will not wake from his slumber.
How did this happen? A Titan of Jotunheim is not easily laid low.
From what I've been able to collect from their tomes in history, it would be after his way home was shut. He had collected what he could, and after the last of his power from the realm that he had originally presided from started to wane, he laid himself to rest within his mead hall. Though, obviously without threat, he has remained asleep, and there it is best that he remain.
I mean,
Did you know him before he fell asleep?
Well, my mother had informed me long ago when I was but a wormling. He had spent some time streaking across the land, long before... Yeah. He nods to the gems that you have, the runes.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
yeah. Oh, so he knows immediately. He can tell immediately we have these runes.
Right. I almost forgot to mention, he actually does have wands on his side.
Wands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dragon-sized wands. Like, you know how Modar...
In like a holster?
Yeah. He has like 4 of them.
Interesting.
So, you know, like Modar and everyone else you've seen probably has like a wand. He has like a tree.
Okay. I'm trying to figure what I have to ask him.
I mean, do we explain? There's no use hiding.
Treasure hunting, of course.
I mean, yeah, we have good reasons, right? We're trying to save your friend. There's...
Yeah, I guess. I assume less we don't think he's a threat, and more he doesn't think we're a threat to him.
Would we have innate knowledge about draconic alignment, or would there be some sort of roll I could make?
Go ahead and roll me a history for that as well.
Here we go. Yeah, it's a 21.
Alright.
Hey, you got it.
You know, especially for all the signs, even though you were kind of worried it might have been a white dragon, it was definitely reassured when you saw him, thankfully, from the head shape alone. Never mind the silver leaf dragon tree outside for the heraldry. That is most definitely a silver dragon, and that it is very normal for silver dragons to find ancient ruins of society long forgotten and to keep them as their personal home, to keep record and, you know, note
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To note history as it passes, to make sure that even though it is forgotten, it is not lost. So, in short, basically, they are like the world's most intense library keepers in record.
telling
I would say that
this is a good creature. Silver dragons are protectors of the world and of knowledge. They would be obliged to help us, especially to stop the blood war from coming to the material plane.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it never hurts. I guess we would try to relay.
Mhm.
We've told everybody else.
basically. So
Yeah,
what?
we give the general store. We were, or you guys were travelers who were beset, and in this carnage and death found these runestones of power that they then have been using them to try and right this world at war when the plane around us started to be attacked on top of just borders and human nations.
Mm.
Yeah, he gets the rundown of activity.
He very obviously nods as he does relax and kind of lays upon the cloud marble. Obviously, gesturing for you to try and take a seat where you can in the massive benches of the meat hall. But, especially after that explanation, he also. I do apologize of certain things that have been kept here. They were there for more safety. I preferred, though, obviously if treasure hunters were to come here, it is not great to have such creatures about, though I do definitely prefer the hippogriffs. His old warriors that had refused to leave, that worshipped him so fervently, to be the first marker before somebody had come to rouse him if I were ever away.
Is it possible?
I have not tried, but I do take note that there are subtle shifts in the air. I would imagine if somebody were to lash out at him or to try something foolish where he sits upon, might wake him for the time, bring his full wrath.
Better he sleep then.
He was an aggressive Jarl, leader of giants and conqueror of many lands. The runestone you have, as he kind of points towards Jin, the fire giant who had originally been captured by him had it.
Are they talking about what's his name?
King Snur.
King Slayer.
King Snow would be the child of the Chainbreaker, though he does not glorify it, I would imagine.
He does not.
The child of.
This material plane is certainly, very active.
It's been increasingly active with the war between the devils and demons, but worse, the creatures of the far realm trying to stretch their fingers in once again.
Yeah, we're trying to stop that.
It has been noted. Do not
To,
think that I and the council have not seen the acts that you take upon the land.
Oh, so we're being monitored. That makes me feel better.
Where's the quest log? I need to add something about finding out who the fucking council is.
Hi, I apologize. I am a traveler to this realm here temporarily. I am not familiar with this land. What is the council? An oversight body. I would love to be put in touch. Seems
Council
like
of
exactly the
Elders.
people that I would need to talk to.
It will take time, but it is the Council of Elders. Ones that we meet together with when the sound is called. We do have one Elder Dragon who oversees the main council, though many of us have sought to stem the tide or reverse it as best we could. Unfortunately, where the devils and demons seem to have been slipping, one unfortunately managed to anchor itself firmly within Shushupaninki's providence. I believe you have crossed paths with him.
Oh, bro.
Does he react when Ramus says the name?
You can see he does kind of scowl as best as you can tell from the front of his snout.
Yeah, we don't really enjoy him very much.
I have kept the ritual dagger that had originally summoned him, so no others of his ilk could be called.
What?
Ooh, so he's alone out here?
Completely. Though he saunters arrogantly, claiming that he has capability to be able to call others like him, he can only call lessers. There are no other archdevils like himself. They've been locked out.
Well, that's actually a lot more reassuring.
I'm sorry. Did you say you kept the ritual that summoned him?
The ritual dagger.
And can he be banished with it?
It is possible, but it would be extraordinarily dangerous. And having such a chance and opportunity would be neededly decisive. If he got another one, there would be no telling of how many other bishops, lords of hell, he would try to call.
So this ritual dagger can summon more like him.
If you have the High Bishop's ritual, yes. Such knowledge has been locked away by the churches.
Yeah, we probably don't want that to happen.
One of our many missions is to destroy him. If this is a burden that you do not wish to take yourself, understand that the Dead-Ass Rangers will take it for you. He is our enemy.
I appreciate that offer, and I will be watching diligently to know when the time is right, when you can find your moment.
When it is, are we getting help?
When necessary. There are obvious avenues that we can't always stride in openly unless we want to immediately call the ire of the devils and demons to us.
Well, I appreciate your faith in us.
Uh,
Yes, Moda?
I apologize for my for overstepping my bounds. I have an inquisitive nature, and my mind and magical senses were taken aback by the contents of this castle. Specifically, I would hesitate to call it a magical armory, but your display room.
Yes. Many relics that lie within.
Would they?
Be of use.
This is not a library proper, but we are engaged in. Well, I do not say the saving of the world lightly. You have seen their actions much more than you have seen mine. So judge by that.
It is true. And many of those items do have a long history.
I'm wiped. I gotta get up early.
That's fair.
Okay.
I guess let me know what.
I'll try and get you the magic sword. I got you.
I think this would be...
where we end up from here.
Okay.
If you guys want to keep our opinion, do your thing.
Well, I think this is a good spot to leave off on, as obviously requests and debates will take a little bit of time, and be able to have everyone here would be good for what you would be able to choose, because obviously you won't be able to get the full relic wearing that he has.
Yeah. Could you tell us what the items are?
So, for that, I could definitely tell you. The
Night dude.
restaurant.
Well, boy.
The first item, the Dwarven Crown, is the Lost Crown of Bestilmer.
Definitely put it in chat so I can check at another time in the morning.
Most indubitably.
Alright, guys, later.
Peace, man. Bye.
Which this Dwarven Crown / helm decorated greatly. You would have resistance to psychic damage, advantage against saving throws that would charm you, and you could use this item as a bonus action to inspire one creature that you could see within 60 feet of you that can see or hear you once before the end of your next turn. The inspired creature can roll d6 and add the number to one rolled ability check, attack roll, saving throw. This uses one charge of the crown, and it has 3 charges, regains 1d3 daily at dawn. Accompanying that crown, next to it, is Nethen, the sentient legendary sword that had belonged to the Paladin King. Along with that, it would be a +3 weapon. And whenever you go to attack a fiend or undead with it, it does 2d10 extra radiant damage. While you hold the sword, it creates an aura, a 10-foot radius around you. All creatures that are friendly to you within the aura have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. If you have 17 or more levels in the Paladin class, the radius of this aura increases to 30 feet. At the same time, it is also a sentient weapon, so it does have its own personality and everything.
Terrifying.
The dagger that was used to summon Pelgrim is the Rakidos right knife. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls. This counts as magical. Is cruelly serrated on a tilt and resembles a demonic head and wings. Whenever you slay a creature using this dagger, the creature's soul is imprisoned inside the dagger, and that creature can be restored to life only by a wish spell.
Wow.
Jeez.
The dagger can hold a maximum of 5 souls. For each soul imprisoned in the dagger, your attacks can deal an extra 1d4 necrotic damage. While the dagger is within 5 feet of you, it haunts your dreams, and they are haunted by whispers from the trapped souls. It also has Siphon Vitality. As a bonus action, you could release any number of souls stored within the dagger and regain 1d10 hit points upon release. And finally, Annihilation. If the dagger holds 5 souls, you can use this property. As a reaction, immediately after you hit a creature with a dagger, you deal damage to that target, you can release all 5 souls, and the target has no fewer than 75 hit points. It must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or die. If the target dies, you can't use this property again until you finish a long rest. So if it's 75 hit points or below, it's just dead if it fails the save.
Shit.
The other one is an enhanced spell bottle that contains a cataclysm.
Well,
A cataclysm
Yes.
of our choosing, or just a random cataclysm?
Random cataclysm.
Jeez.
Was created by a malicious djinn after his wife was stolen away from him.
Sounds about right.
So, on that, when you unleash it, it could be a hurricane, it could be a monsoon, it could be a tsunami, it could be an earthquake, it could be a volcano. It could also be a freak lightning storm. Along with that...
tell me about that poem.
I know you're thirsting for it.
Tell me about that poem.
The tome you're so thirsty for requires attunement by a wizard.
Oh,
It is the Grimoire
but the
Infinitus.
that's a big word. That's good. We like infinity.
In its dormant state, which it currently is because it has been unused. The first pages of this book contain Alarm, Anti-Magic Field, Bigby's Hand, Blight, Charm Person, Confusion, Control Weather, Create Undead, Detect Thoughts, Enlarge Reduce, Fear, Foresight, Gaseous Form, Glyph of Warding, Legend Lore, Liamon's Tiny Hut, Mass Suggestion, Mislead, Misty Step, Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound, Prismatic Spray, Ray of Enfeeblement, Silent Image, Teleport, and Thunderwave. You can use your grimoire as your spell book, and you can scribe new spells into it as normal. When you prepare a wizard spell using the grimoire, the number of wizard spells you can prepare is increased by 1.
Dope.
Obviously, it does have an awakened and an exalted state as well.
What does that mean?
Meaning it can gain more power the more you use it. So if it reaches the awakened state, while you carry the spellbook, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects. When you prepare your wizard spells for the day, it increases again by another 1 allowed prepared, so you now have 2 extra prepared slots. And when you reach exalted, you can now use your arcane recovery feature twice between long rests rather than once, and you gain a 3rd extra prepared slot. And then finally, the last 2 items is the Green Dragon Mask, which has got damage absorption, so you would have resistance to poison damage, and if you have resistance to poison damage, you would flat gain poison immunity. And then the other one is Draconic Majesty. While you are wearing no armor, you can add your charisma bonus to your armor class. Dragon Breath. If you have a breath weapon, requires rest to recharge it and gains a recharge of 6. But unfortunately, I don't think anyone will have a breath weapon here. Dragon Sight, you gain dark vision with a radius of 60 feet, or, if you have it already, you gain another additional 60 feet, giving you a 120-foot dark vision range. And once per day, you gained Blind Sight out to a 30-foot range up for 5 minutes.
I need it! Wait. What if I already have dark vision at 120 feet?
I would say it stacks another 60, so you'd have 180-foot dark vision sight.
Disgusting. Absolutely insane.
And then
Josh, why is it gotta require? Why does the book gotta be attunement? That means I gotta get rid of one of my things.
I mean, an extra prepared slot's pretty G, and then
It's disgustingly good. It's so good,
and
but
then
I gotta
just
give up
getting
my
flat
PlayStation
magic
credit.
resist when you awaken it.
Oh, well, I get that at 14th level actually as an abjuration wizard. But yeah, that's a long way off.
Yeah. And then Dragon Tongue. You
So
can speak
good.
and understand Draconic. You also have advantage on charisma checks you make against green dragons. Legendary resistance once a day. If you fail a saving throw, you can choose to succeed it instead. And finally, for the green dragon mask, you gain water breathing.
Yes.
Staff of defense shouldn't be attunement.
That's fair. And then finally, the last curious item that is fun, but also from a legendary thief who had originally whisked away a soul from Asmodeus himself. The Infiltrator's Key. Does require attunement, but in its dormant state, the Infiltrator's Key can be used as a thief's tool for the purpose of opening locks. When using this key, you are considered proficient with thieves' tools, and you have advantage on ability checks to open locks. While holding this key, your steps are muffled, giving you advantage on dexterity stealth checks while moving silently. Once you awaken this item, you would be able to, while holding this key, use a bonus action to transform the key into a dagger or back into a key at will. While this key is in the form of dagger, you gain a +1 bonus to your attacks, and it returns to your hand immediately after you use it to make a ranged attack. While holding the key, you can use an action to cast one of the following spells: Alter Self, Invisibility, Knock, or Pass Without a Trace. Once the spell's been cast, using this key can't be used to cast that spell again until the next dawn. And then finally, when it reaches Exalted, as a bonus action, you can touch the key to a floor, wall, ceiling that is no more than 5 feet thick and causes a magical opening to appear in the surface. When you create an opening that you choose, its length, width up to 10 feet for each dimension. The opening lasts until the key passes through to the other side, at which point it disappears. If a creature is in the opening of the doorway when it closes, the creature is safely shunted to the nearest unoccupied space, and the key can't be used to create another opening until the next dawn. While holding the key, you can use an action to cast one of the following spells from it: Dimension Door, Gaseous Form, or Mislead. Once the spell has been cast, obviously cannot be used again until the next dawn. And I'll post a full list in the chat so everyone can...
What do I even do with these braces of defense? Nobody else can wear them. Fuck.
I'd have to check what Nero's got.
Because you can't wear armor if you have them, and everybody else wears armor.
That's right.
You should just let me get the book without a tune. I think. I think.
Just give me the book. Let me have everything
Give
right now.
Please, Josh, please. Cry forever. Maybe a cutting of that tree too. Just to be
You are gonna be hard fucking pressed to get any of that tree.
Yeah, right?
You are gonna have to be really fucking big bosom buddies with this guy.
I mean, Modar is significantly more charismatic than Aiden was. Say that, but that doesn't mean a great deal.
Aiden landed Q.
Or did Ku land Aiden?
See,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I would say dibs on the book, but the book requires wizard, so
Kind of goes without saying.
Unless Jin's gonna take it to sell it.
Rain just takes the book. It's like, fuck you, we're selling.
Yeah, right?
Immediately heads back to fucking Unsolved. Grand Magister! No! I need it!
So, since I like communed with my green runestone, I was thinking the next time I like pull up my spore armor, I was gonna incorporate some green in it, but with a dragon mask.
Oof, that's gonna be cool as fuck.
Oh, that shit is dope. That
Check out.
shit is dopey dope. Yo, that reminds me of. Oh man, have you ever read the Legends of the Dragon Realm series?
No.
Oh, there is a order of basically dragon knights that wear green armor, and this is like almost exactly what I pictured in my head when I read those scenes. Like
Well,
the
the reason why-
swirling fire. Yeah. I highly recommend that series. It's really, really interesting, very cool ideas about how dragons work and how like a land's magic works. Very interesting.
I will definitely check it out. The reason why I chose this, or I was doing research on it, is because I was thinking about so I was like, what can I find that's like green and spory? And it turns out like algae, it grows from spores. So I was thinking it'd be kind of crazy to have like sort of like a skin tight, sort of like seaweed style, like Green Ranger uniform. But then I ran across this, and I was like, this is too dope. I was like, this isn't like we hit our ultimate form. But if I get that mask, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, for real.
Because it still has that sort of like seaweed quarter, sort of like kelp flow to it. So yeah, I'm feeling it. Upgrade. Nice.
Upgrades,
yeah.
people. Upgrades.
The thing I gotta remember though, and before, because I'm about to punch out, is I gotta remember to ask the dragon if he's aware of what happened with the other part of the castle. Like I'll bring that up with him like next time, but I'm gonna leave it in my note for myself because I definitely want to see if we can connect some of the dots.
Alrighty.
Yeah. All right, guys. Good
Have a
game.
good one. Thanks, dude.
Till
Ton of
next
fun.
time.
Thanks, Josh. Thanks for running for us.
Always fun.
I'm gonna have to get rid of my Bracer Defense. There's no way around it. That's so disappointing. I'll find a robe of the Archmagi eventually. It'll be fine.
And then 2700 XP.
Ooh, 2700 you say.
Yes.
So we are now at I will adjust my and Jin's sheets.
Thank you.